One of the most powerful lessons of leadership is learned directly from a verse in this week's parasha, where the Gemara learns out the greatness of God, the greatness of divine leadership, and what every one of us can learn from it. You see, the Gemara at the end of Masechet Megillah Daf Lamed Aleph says as follows: "B'makom shata motzet gudalato shel Kadosh Baruch Hu." At the place that you see the greatness of God, the omnipotence of God, the fact that God created the entire universe, the cosmos, and everything in it, at that very place, Sham ata motzeh et anvatanuto. There you also see the humility of God, so to speak, the smallness, how God appears not only in the great things, but in the small things. Because you see, in this week's parasha it says, in chapter 10, it says, God is Elokei HaElokim, the God of all gods, Adonai HaAdonim, and the Lord of all gods and all hosts, the master of all masters. And straight afterwards it says, Oseh Mishpat Yatom V'Almana. And that same God who created the cosmos and everything in it is also attentive to the most minute detail. He's the God, so to speak, who brings justice and mercy to the widow and to the orphan. You see, one of the great principles of life is this: if you care about everyone, but you don't care about every individual, then you're missing something. Yes, God is the God of all of creation, created everything, created the species and the billions of stars and galaxies and universes and plants and everything in it. He created everything, but he also created everything, every individual thing, everyone and every one. You see, I'll never forget that I listened once to a comedian speaking about how this person was standing outside Buckingham Palace, and he was laboring for socialism and for the rights of the masses and the working class and the poor, and he was protesting and shouting and screaming at the top of his voice. And then somebody, a poor person, grabbed onto his jacket and said to him, "Sir, can you spare a few pennies, spare a few pounds?" He said, "Can't you see that I'm busy? Can't you see that I'm laboring for everybody? I don't have time for the poor people. I'm here for the poor people and for the welfare state, etc." You see, sometimes we get so caught up in the grandeur, the vision, the big picture, laboring for everyone, we forget about everyone. The greatness of God is not only that He's the greatest of the great, is that He is also in the smallest of the small. Not only the God of the macrocosm, but the God of the individual, the microcosm, looks out for every individual. That is the greatness of God, and that is the greatness of leadership. Yes, we have to have Mesirat Nefesh for the klal, as I like to say, as the Musketeer said, we are indeed one for all. We look out for everybody, but we are also all for one. We need to also be very attentive to the needs of the individual. And yes, I think, as I've often said, there are two important aims to this war. One, to bring back every single individual hostage. Each one is a life on its own and a world on its own. And at the same time, to try and prevent in every possible way Hamas from ever doing something ever like this again. For the klal, we have to look after everyone and the whole country, but never forgetting every single one. God is not only in the grandeur of the klal, of the collective, He is in the needs and sensitivities to every individual. May each and every one of us always be concerned about everyone, but at the same time never losing sight of everyone. Shabbat Shalom.